things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. They said, be meek. Look beneath the bed before you go to sleep. Keep on, I shine. You'll surely get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Under the place where all this began. Just start again. You won't see the light until the dawn breaks. No, till it's all said and done, you won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't
be making, I'ma burn them. Burn them, I'ma murk them. And if they playing with this fire, I'ma burn them. Murder, it's a murder. Disrespect if I'ma spark it, I'ma burn them. And I'll be searching, I'll be lurking, I'ma hurt them. And all these bridges that I'm building, I'ma burn them. Burn them, burn them. All this money I be making, I'ma burn them. Burn them. Smoke it up. I'ma serve him, spinning on a block with a mop, I disturb him. I never killed a nigga, but I'm ready to spit a hollow right on a person. And the curse, I'm about to merge on a nigga's turf. I'ma let a nigga burn, burn, let him burn.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final semi-final matchup for the Summit bracket. For Summit, we have MERC and Legion gonna go at it on Utah Night. Thank you all for joining me into this nice little matchup that we're gonna have here. MERC obviously an EU team and Legion primarily an NA team, but with other regions around the world as well, such as EU and Oceania participating into this matchup. I'm not sure if any of the Oceania players for, aka Tactical Steve for Legion, are gonna be playing in this one, but it's gonna be in the game nonetheless. We'll be on the MERC side of this, and the mid cap will be Chapel, which is where Hilly's at. I did see that. Oh, there comes Braju, and Hilly's gonna probably duke it out over there for Chapel. But this will be the midpoint that we will be mainly focusing on, and both teams will be fighting for. Now, obviously, the Legion side of things are gonna get a nice little early lead. I would assume they're gonna cap first. MERC is going to have to play for some recap opportunities, primarily trying to get to that south if I can get my draw tool up. Here we are. So this is going to be the square that we are going to be fighting over, and primarily it's going to be it's a United States, a US allied favored mid cap, just because the hard cap is so close to the red blue line for the allies. Yeah, but like I said, MERC's going to really have to focus on the E and E6 and F6 sectors of this map if they do want to come out of this on top and cap back. As far as fourth points go, honestly, it's not going to matter too much in this one unless Legion do end up losing Chapel. If they do end up losing Chapel, if they do get the South HQ down here where Cap C is at, they do get that one. I think it sets Legion up pretty well because it is a rough point for the Axis to actually push onto without armor. But if it's, you know, direct east, just Hill 5, it's going to be a little bit like kind of like the same thing. It's going to be, you know, nice, easy push-ish. But if it's AA, it could be a little bit tricky. But, you know, obviously we'll see when map flip does happen, which should happen here momentarily. I think we're just getting in the final players. Let's double check and see what we are at. We are at the player limit, and we should be getting the green light to flip the map here momentarily. There is no caster on the other side. It will just be me for this one. But I think later on tonight we do have another Summit matchup for the Valley side of things. Let me just check. That will be 3-5 in the first, casted by Dog's Den and Don Gotti. So Sheepdog, you haven't seen him, his channel is out there. It should be in the Discord, so if you haven't joined the Discord, join it. Find people. If you're banned, well, that kind of sucks for you. You probably deserve to be banned. But that will be streamed later on tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Those two players played on Cairntan Night, so another night map. Utah Night, I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to play a little bit better. And there's not a lot of fog anymore, so that's very beneficial. I had the opportunity to play on this map against ANZR right before the Summit and Valley brackets started in round 5, and we fought over Win 4, and it's actually a very playable map in my personal opinion at night. But we do get the map flip. And let's see. Okay, so we got Legrand and AA as the 2 offset points. Just gonna make sure if I can find myself the Weatherman.
So fast.
Let's see where he is at. There he is. And we'll go on the South HQ truck. So Legrand for Merc is, I would say, probably a good bet. You know, they get all line points. I'm just gonna run to this thing over here. I'm gonna hop inside of this little thing. I don't know what to call it. And we should be good to go. I should probably exit out of my draw tool. But yes, we do get Chapel. As you can see, Weatherman will be the arty player for Merc. He's already putting down some pings of where they're going to be. AA is going to be probably tough. This is probably what Legion did not want to see, is an AA battery point, and as well as Red Roof House. So Legion probably dealt the worst hand as far as the 2 offset points, being AA and Red Roof, just because, you know, if Merc somehow do end up going up 4-1 at AA, just one garrison right at the front door of Red Roof could be kind of disastrous. But Legion are, without a doubt, one of the top 2 teams in the world on console. So I don't predict that happening, but, you know, crazier things have happened in the game of Hell Let Loose. All Merc trying to get into their trucks. I don't think, yes, they do spawn in a extra light tank. Puma is also going to join the main fight, and let's see what Legion has cooking up over here. I'm not quite sure what they are going to be thinking as far as rocket snipes and things of that nature, but it looks like we do have Lewis and Libby, as well as Hans and Sass, and maybe one other player over here lining up the rockets. So it looks like they are going to be... Nope, I guess they're not going to be doing any rocket snipes over there. So looks like we're not going to get any wall snipes except for maybe Hugh. We will find out and see. Merc going with a very interesting first supply drop placement. I don't dislike that, but I also don't quite agree with it. I would prefer them just to have it on the red-blue line, just so you establish that to make sure that you have that radar coverage, but we will see when that happens. Merc, on the other hand, looks like they do have a few players on the south, and looks like they are building an AT gun. They built a rep station here. I'm not sure why there's a rep station there, but there is. Don't really get the point of that rep station. Maybe they know something I do not know. Sounds to be some people are indeed launching some rockets or some tank snipes. Oh, look at this. So we do have a rocket coming in from Merc. Does not look like it's going to hit anything, as Legion does a volley of 3 rockets. And will indeed miss the truck. More rockets coming in from Merc. Nearly hitting Angry Devil's truck. Already should be coming down any second as the ping is live. And down goes the truck where Capsy just barely hopped out of. So 1 truck snipe for Legion to start off the game. I'm gonna set Merc back a tad bit, but they are gonna be playing for a recap, I think, no matter what. As another truck gets... did that kill a bunch of players? It might have just killed the driver, I'm not quite sure. But as far as the map looks like, oh, Merc is... Yeah, I think they lost a lot of SLs off those first initial snipes. But as you do kind of expect, the allies will probably 9 times out of 10 cap this first. Libby and Raz about to engage each other. Libby wipes out the... Oh, misses the OP with his rocket. Might need to turn on my brightness a tad bit. And down goes the OP from Libby's AT. And a nice play there from Libby. Pretty much wiping out MERC entirely in the sector. Only just one OP, and that's barely in for Monty, but it looks like they are going to try to get something in the south. With that one SL and the light, or the recon tank, rather. And that is going to be an early lead for Legion, as I'm going to turn up my brightness a tad bit. Hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit on stream. Legion just taking this ground. MERC unfortunately kind of just gave up by those early truck snipes, and they weren't really too early. I feel like MERC just didn't hop out at the right times, and unfortunately they are going to pay the price for it. That ricochet went absolutely flying. That was insane. Holy shit. Angry Devil actually just running into the point. I'm not sure if there's an on-point carry. There is, and he was nearly on it. Miner hops out of the tank. Hans will knock him down as just Cove and Pickle Rick. Cove is trying to make sure he doesn't get satchel, but he will get shut down by Hans, and this is more or less a dead Lux tank with just a gunner. I would not be surprised to see an early airhead here from MERC, because they are really getting pushed back to the red-blue line. It's just that Chapel in the F column doesn't provide that much space to safely drop a long-distance airhead that they can safely spawn at least one wave on. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play the rest of this match now, because they are really pushed far back, and Utah's one of those maps where it does take a lot of kind of manpower and gunfighting and just all that kind of stuff to, move up like half a grid square. It does take a while, unlike some other maps, as a Lux tank will get taken out, I assume, by the medium tank, which is probably moved up over here. I thought I was on the Legion side for a second. The south is where MERC is going to really have to try to work with. And right now, there's just nothing in the sector other than front door of LeGrand. As the Lux tank does go ba-boom. MERC does still have their P4, so Legion really can't, storm to 4th point quite yet. They still have to deal with this P4. As MERC is also bringing in the heavy Tiger tank. As always with these games, there are competitive rules, meaning the 49v49, no destroying of nodes, no harassing the arty. Can't get off the gun if you are the arty player. And you cannot spawn in Panther tanks. Tigers only, 75s I think are technically allowed. That'd be kind of cool to see Legion bring up the 75, but I highly doubt they are going to do that. Just kind of going back towards what Legion is kind of dealing with right now, back on their defensive point. Just making sure they don't overpeak their tanks. They still have all 3 tanks up. I don't know if they still have the Greyhound. They do have the lights and the medium, which they are slowly moving them up now. It looks like this Stuart tank is gonna try to go for a bit of a dive here. Not a lot of ATs in sight either for MERC. Achilles somehow phases through the light tank. Stewart tank. Try to go for a play, but unfortunately shut down by the P4. But the P4 also getting surrounded now by infantry. MERC, I feel like, are spreading themselves a little bit too thin in some other key areas. Just not also winning the gunfights that they desperately do need. I don't think an airhead has been called down quite yet, or a bombing run from either team. Roma coming up from behind. Gonna have to take out these rep stations. But instead, we'll get shut down right away from Alex and Flight. We got a little surprise guest here, Mr. Raz himself. Well, gets his head taken off by Angry Devil. Filling in for MERC for this one. And I just see the coverage that Legion does have, just straight north and south, just full control. Typhoon and Libby now. Oh, they can't two-tap the tank now. Libby tries to go for a miracle run, but will get shut down himself. And this tank is on an island. Beck trying to play the best that he can while trying to hold his position, but is exposing his butt to Roma. But the tank will get repaired by the repair stations. Beck hops out, but does eventually go down. As we do have a bomb run here from MERC. Just gonna kill Libby. Down goes the starting medium tank. But Libby tank is now in position to help defend Legrand, but MERC, I think, are just going to have to win some of these gunfights if they do want to move up. They need to gain some ground back. This Weatherman's already trying to do what he can, just getting a 3 or 4 piece right on the other side of the hedge of where the tanks died. Well, Demon making sure Fatal does not get behind them. MERC still have this garrison in the far south. The Legion are not really aware of it. Maybe Frosty. It's like Paco is, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Trying to make his way around, but is being hunted by 2 SLs and the commander. Garrison is green, so maybe MERC can get another SL or maybe even Recon to get behind. Legion just applying a lot of pressure. Typhoon and Ghosted inching their way towards the front entrance of Legrand Creek. Pay attention back to the north side of the map. Just Recon and 1 SL for here for MERC. We're gonna deal with at least a, let's say, squad and a half of Legion. Hojo does shut down Gold Up, the sniper. Wild Bill, Web COP. and we'll take out Rats in the process. Legion, best opportunity now to push this front door with that front door OP from MERC going down. Ghost starting to make his way into the hard cap, and this could turn into a 4-1 game within the first 20 minutes of the game. Obviously, still a lot that Legion's going to have to do in order to do that. Gonna have to clear MERC pretty much out of the whole sector, but Garrison is locked up. Ghosted is on the on-point Gary. And on-point Garrison is indeed gone. Not sure if that is friendly or enemy arty. Looks like it was friendly arty from MERC. Realizing that their front door is now exposed. They're just slowly getting pushed back. Another arty shell. Not sure who's the arty player for Legion, but he is also starting to dial in now as well. Looks like MERC is going to bring up a Tiger Tank for backup. Legion heavies have yet to move up from their defensive positions. The bomber run does come up from Legion. Oh, our big arty splash. Their house. Oh, gets taken out by Cardi. Legion just hitting all of their shots today. I feel like if Legion does want to go for it, they can move up their heavy tanks to roughly like these buildings over here. I feel like they just have the room. They're just not doing it quite yet, which is, you know, a little bit surprising. Maybe they just don't want to overextend, but MERC using the airhead in the backline is going to hopefully try to relieve some of this offensive pressure that Legion is applying to them, but this pressure is very, very intense right now. Our spawn wave does happen on House's OP, but already just dialing in as a Stewart from behind. Does get taken out by Demon, so that is a huge kill from him, making sure his Tiger Tank does not have to turn around for too long. To see maybe a little bit more MERC consolidation, especially from the north. But they're spawning on some backline Garys. Airhead does get destroyed as well. So just one of those plays where you have to kind of, you know, take the airheads and do what you can with them, as I think a Tiger Tank does go down in the north. Oh man, it's rough just leaving him on the island like that. I feel like if you're MERC, you're gonna have to kind of double up your Tiger Tanks and play together. You really can't play north and south of the point. You just can't, I think, on the Grand, unless you get, you know, really, really good control of the map. Looks like this Luke's tank is doing some donuts. I don't know who's driving this, but we'll get the engine. Typhoon. Down goes the Luke's tank. Back to try to hop out. Same with DJ, but that will be a dead Luke's indeed. MERC pretty much kind of stabilized this point for the time being. They do have that OP that is on the front door still of Wild Bills. Like Legion are gonna move up one of their 76s, it seems, to help try to secure this cap. And Legrand is one of those points too. If you lose it as the Axis, it can be a very tricky point to get. I think all the 4th points for the Axes are very, very tricky to get back and recapture. Looks like Legion is going to bring up the tank in the back line. Yeah, MERC are just kind of losing the front door fight, just kind of relying on OPs, and if like 1 or 2 of these OPs from MERC does get burnt, I think we'll start seeing the cap flip towards the Legion side of things in this one. Looks like Legion is actually bringing up their starting medium, which is somehow still up. Kind of just see this battle around this bridge. As a rocket actually almost takes out Briz, his teammate. Legion starting to flip that cap. I think they're starting to get these tanks into the hard cap itself. Yes, they are going to drive the starting medium up. Oh, and Ivan with a huge rocket kill onto an AT player. We're gonna have to do something about this medium tank. This Tiger. Oh no. I think the Tiger sees him possibly. Yes, I think the Tiger does see him. Or at least knows about his presence, but this Tiger's gonna have to kill this medium if they do want to, you know, still be holding on to this 3-2. One tank does, medium tank does take a shot, and it will get destroyed. Huge kill for there, which I think that was the P4, right? Yeah, P4. Relieves some of the pressure that Legion is putting on, but now they have a Tiger tank in the north that just went down to Legion 76. Ah, man. It's not what you want to see if you're MERC, losing 2 early game heavies like that. I think that's their second one that they lost. Yeah. Yeah, I think. I have no idea. But nonetheless, still plenty of time in this match. Would not be surprised to see a defensive bombing run here from Commander Telebin. This Legion are starting to push MERC back into the safety forest that, you know, most teams use this area for pretty much a garrison, your allies, but being pushed back there as Axis is very, very rough indeed. Legion are just starting to swarm the point now of Legrand. Another big arty hit does land onto the MERC players. Player does go out, and you can just see all the Legion players into the hard cap. Weatherman gonna try to adjust arty. Big spawn wave does come in on the garrison, and they might be able to spawn one more time on that garrison. I think Tiger Tank's gonna try to drive in and save the cap, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, as he realistically has little to no support. MERC's gonna have to play for some recap here now. It does look like it is going to flip into their favor. Arty does come in, but only kills maybe a player or 2. And this will be a 4-1 lead for Legion with an hour and 5 minutes left into the match. And oh no, the Tiger Tank is turning around. Oh, he does not know that a 76 is trailing him. MERC's gonna have to ping that 76. And the 76 is Gonna get at least one shot onto him, I think. For some reason, he gets a little bit stuck. Oh, but Ghosted gonna try to get down a satchel onto the Tiger. And he does get a satchel onto the Tiger. Silver Nuke does hop out, but unfortunately, this Tiger tank for MERC will be indeed satcheled and going to be taken off the board here in the next 20 or so seconds. Three, 2 lead down to a 4-1 lead now for Legion. MERC's kind of reset the backlines as the tank does get blown up. And the unfortunate thing is, none of the MERC players reset their OPs. I think that's the one thing that MERC is currently missing from this match, is they're just not resetting the OPs. Like, if they did, they pretty much got immediately wiped out, which, you know, you can only do so much, especially if you're being farmed by Artie, or you maybe a grenade kills you in your OP. You know, those things do happen, but Legion already on the MERC front door of Flooded House. As Raz and another player does get taken out right away, as Legion's gonna try to make this maybe a half-hour game. Tiger Tank does roll out of mid HQ. I'm not sure where the Legion heavies are at. They do have a Stuart and one heavy on the board. I think Legion might have actually taken out... Yes, it looks like Legion did take out one of the 76s. A little bit surprising to see MERC already get pushed back to their 4th point. I feel like if you're MERC, you can't be playing too far south with too many squad leads. You're going to have to prioritize front door. It's how Legion, you know, basically broke through to Legrand. Their infantry slowly fragged their way to front door, brought in a medium tank to help support, and then eventually brought in maybe a squad lead or two more with their boys to push through. But I feel like MERC just need to prioritize front door and they'll be okay. Obviously, still plenty of time for them to mount something up. That's going in. Unfortunately, will get shut down by the SL. Baker's running across the field with an MG for some reason. Not quite sure what he's doing. Bakers races the MG. Will get shut down by Wild Bill. Legion started bringing a little bit more infantry now to the front door. Just take one more look at the map. MERC starting to get a little bit of pressure on the front door in the red zone, but I feel like they're maybe allocating a little bit too many more bodies in the south. Like L Squad trying to work behind, same with M Squad. Trying to do what they can, but Legion's starting to break through. The satchel somehow blows up. I'm not quite sure who placed that satchel on what team, but the battle for that meat grind does continue. Shifting a little bit towards the north. Legion's starting to actually break in as well towards the radar station. Hojo and Rylux. Rylux gets the better half of that matchup. They try to secure that north and kind of push straight back down south. Legion does have two 76s waiting in wait to possibly get this Tiger tank, but I think this 76 does indeed know where this Tiger is currently, and I don't know if MERC knows where the 76s are at. And this is kind of like the main advantage of being on a little bit of a favored point, or a favored or just being up in a match, is I think you just get more intel where armor's at, as the 76 is going to peek this Tiger, gets the first shot into it. Tiger gonna back up, but I don't think he's gonna be backing up in time, as the front is still exposed, and the Tiger is going to escape by a blunder from the 76 crew. Huge missed opportunity from that tank crew to miss out on a kill, and that 76 biting himself in the butt for not hitting that, and that Tiger crew is very thankful that he missed that shot, because losing 3 heavies within the first, I would say, half hour. They might have lost another one, actually. I think that would have been their 4th heavy loss in 30 minutes. If they would have lost that, that would have been just, I think, a buzzkill, as a front door garrison for Legion is built. Ori. Okay. Guns down Snoochie. Typhoon will get the refrag with the shotgun. Raz does wipe out an OP as well. Raz just saw that SL. Oh, bad timing. Raz does wipe out the P. Oh, the P strike does work for Legion. Down goes the 76. Raz does wipe out another OP in that process as well, but not the garrison. There's another dead MERC heavy tank. Rep stations are being destroyed as well, as Legion's starting to wrap around where that Tiger tank was kind of stationed. But it looks like MERC is slowly making their way back down south. They do have a good control of the C3 and going into the C4 sectors. So they are trying to push back and get some crossfire in, but it looks like in the south too they're having some okay success as well. Okay, they do have a default medium tank on the front line. It's like Legion is going to push up one of their 76s in front of the flooded house point. MERC looks like they do have one Tiger tank that is spawned in the mid HQ. That's going to be their only one for at least another 4 or 5 minutes or so. Not because of cooldown, because of resources. Actually, I think it might be almost 10 minutes, or not 10 minutes, like, yeah, 6-7 minutes until their next heavy tank. Actually, like 7-8 minutes. I have no idea. I can't do math in my head. Pure tank from Legion, providing good crossfire. trying to splash. Just a solo Stuart player, but you know, pretty much a mobile light AT gun as supplies dropped in the far, far south. I don't think MERC knows, but if they do get like an airhead, I would say like somewhere back over here, kind of where my admin cam is, they can get an airhead back there. I don't think MERC could get there in time for the first spawn wave. Could be wrong about that, but you know, they're gonna have to try something with under an hour to go, especially being down 4-1 with that much time left. Like, yes, it's plenty of time for them to mount something up and try to come back in this match, but you know, against a team like Legion, you're gonna have to, you know, make those plays, because once you do, the clock hits 0 and this does remain the score, MERC is still eliminated. Legion starting to slowly move up this 76. I'm not quite sure what... Oh, the 76 is, I think, trying to dial in on a... Is this a medium tank? Yeah, default medium tank. I think... Dolphin is riding on top of it? No, he is not. But he is in pursuit. Does get one rocket into the butt. Beck does hop out. Does get gunned down by Bruh. Gopis will finish off that tank. That is another dead MERC tank yet again. MERC just getting slaughtered pretty much by the ATs and even tanks of Legion. It's a whole collective team effort that Legion is doing to prioritize the MERC tanks, because MERC does have some very good tankers, as we all know and love. But, well, not all of you probably love them, but, no, I do. But, you know, they are prioritizing that, and they are having loads of success. I cannot say words because I haven't slept yet. Baker's gonna try to make a play onto the 76. Oh, it's gone down. House does get blown up by that HE round of the 76. Looks like Legion is starting to break in from the north side of Flooded House. We have one SL and a few bodies up there. Gonna do what they can. I'm just surprised not to see more rockets fly out from MERC. I know not everyone likes to use the car, but you know, gotta use it for the rockets, gotta get that utility. You know, gotta do something to harass these tanks. It looks like I do see a U-Man on a AT gun over there. They are building those, but I feel like they do need the rockets. Dig tries himself with a rocket. Fortunately, I think he just hit that tree trunk that is randomly sticking up. And does get one side pen to do some moderate damage to it. The Legion, I think, are just slowly starting to leak in, and like I said, once one of these OPs gets wiped, it's pretty much going to be very tough for MERC to come back. They do have a good Gary network around Flooded House. They just don't really have anything realistically outside of, you know, the front door of Flooded. But looks like a counter push from MERC in the north. Hopefully Jamie, or yeah, Jamie will be able to knock out this Stuart tank. I feel like Jamie does know that his presence is a little bit compromised. Stuart tank is going to try to move. We'll get one rocket into the butt of the Stuart tank. Collapse does get out, but it does not matter. AT from MERC will get the kill. Well, eliminates some of the crossfire that Legion did have with that Stuart, but now Legion, despite losing that crossfire, are starting to push in from the north. As the 76 does go down, I think Dig gets those 2 rockets that he needed to destroy it. That will be a dead 76, so a huge win for MERC, but now the infantry is going to have to support their own tanks for MERC. I would not be surprised to see this cap start flipping here. I think one thing you can catch some of these teams on is, you know, forcing themselves to win the game instead of letting it happen naturally, and I think you're kind of seeing that from Legion. I think they're trying to force this 5-0, and that's making MERC establish really well in the north. They do have well in the backline as a SL, as well as 2 recon players, so MERC going to try to set themselves up for a recap. They just need their defense to kind of hold tight and hold chip. Maybe they could flip this back into a 3-2 game in hopes of trying to win in the last 48 minutes or so. Legion is going to start that cap progress. Just a handful of bodies from MERC are around. As the recon plane does be coming out. Tank does get spawned in at middle HQ, but again, those tankers cannot utilize that because they cannot spawn back there. They do have the garrison that they could utilize and run back. Big spawn wave does also happen. Rep station from Legion. I think just got taken out. Yes, rep station does get taken out. Tiger with a nice little line of sight. Like Legion not using the bomber. Looks like it's going to be a MERC bombing run. Wipes out at least 4 or 5 players. Hugh going to try to escape it, but will be, unfortunately, will die to it itself. Good use of the bombing run there from the Commander Talbin. Wipes out that front line that Legion was starting to have a little bit of a chokehold onto them. Dextro does not look and sees that there's an OP in the hard cap itself. There's actually 2 OPs in the hard cap for Legion. And one to the north where intake is at. MERC's gonna try to hold on for this defense. Legion gonna start contesting and start getting the cap progress. More and more Legion start to flood in off these OPs. MERC are gonna have to call basically back a full reset, but Garrison is also gone on the front door. Remember, Talbot cannot use another bombing run as he just used it moments ago. As it looks like Legion are probably going to win this 5-0 in just under 45 minutes unless MERC can come up with some sort of defense. These tanks for MERC are going to have to go big now. MERC is starting to run back to the hard point. And the Merc heavy tank can desperately try to get into that hard cap. Does get hit once by a 76, but he does not care at this moment. Sass unfortunately missing his rocket. Merc defending the point. I think that's mostly due to the heavy tank getting the hard cap for just a little bit. Oh, ricochet, huge ricochet miss. This Legion. That huge push that Legion did just apply, but saved by the Merc armor. Good response from Merc. They do get that garrison in the south, so maybe these guys down in the south can start putting some pressure on to the defense. But again, with those Legion OPs inside the hard cap, it's going to be very difficult for them to kind of mount something up. Not quite sure where the other Merc heavy is at. Still kind of stationed a little bit farther back. Looks like a P4 is rolling into the fight now. Pretty much Legion is starting to really apply pressure to this front door house. Not a lot of Merc in sight as far as Merc infantry goes. Whoever the TC is going to have to basically do the exact same play where he drives into the hard cap. Silverne's going to have to probably do that. Going to try to get some reps in real quick from Nash. Make sure that he can maybe eat one 76 shell and still survive. Or we're going to try to help out as well, as an AT gun does get destroyed. Airhead is coming down from Legion. So Merc are probably highly aware of that. Good thing for Merc is Artie's already landing on the airhead. This weatherman will start marking it. Would not be surprised to see a Merc bomb run here in the next few moments. That should be roughly off cooldown. Jamie's maybe gonna try to line up a rocket shot. I don't know if he sees it from where he's at. He will get taken out. Airhead is still alive. Dane throwing some smokes onto it as well. Huge spawn wave onto the airhead. I think airhead is still alive. Yeah, airhead is still alive. I thought it blew up for a second. But airhead is still up and running. Already slamming on top of that airhead. But other bodies spawning in from other OPs and other spawn points. I think airhead might have just got destroyed. No, it did not. It's still up. I don't know how this airhead is still up. Bombering run coming in from Legion. Gonna take out a handful of Merc players. Libby tries to do a death run towards the Tiger tank. Will unfortunately lose his life in that process. And it is all Merc in the hard cap now. Just one tank being the closest one to it. You know it's not the best sign in the world when a strafing run is used on defense. Merc counter pushing from the north. Well as the south. Even TCs are spawning on top of the airhead. Legion's going to try to end this game right here and right now. Tiger tank going to drive to the point. I think at this point he does not care if he does get saturated if it means saving the game for his team. They do see the airhead. They probably know that they are satchelled by now. I think they're probably locking out the Legion airhead. Spawn wave does happen to get blown up by that 70 or that Tiger tank round. Is this thing satcheled? Gotta be, right? Yes, he is satcheled. That will wipe out the Tiger as well as a few infantry players from a Legion. Fortunately, I don't think it wiped out enough Legion players for friendly TKs. As roughly 25 seconds are remaining for this cap. If it does continue, Tiger 1 is called in, but they are going to need a bomb run, but they don't have the manpower or the munition, or they don't have the munitions for it. Legion holding steady at Flooded House, but MERC trying to throw all that they can at it. I don't think they have any tanks in sight. They do have a recon tank all the way in the south, but that is not going to do anything, and this game will end with a Legion victory, going 5-0 into their favor. Congrats to Legion to move on to the finals. They will be playing Taco in 2 weeks from now. Obviously, we're not going to know what map or what day it will be played on, but it's going to be a good game nonetheless. But commemorations for MERC in this game right here. Hold your heads high. Top 4 finish for you guys in Summit. Well done to you guys. So that's going to do it for me. It's the first time I'm saying this, but there will be no next time. So take care. See ya.